moving into a bigger or smaller house, and maybe getting into a 55 plus community. You know, as we get older, and yes, I'm older, I'm getting there. I am there. A lot of people are starting to look at 55 plus communities. All the kids are gone, buy a nice house, you know. But there's some pros and there's some cons to it. So let's discuss them here in just a minute and see what you think. Now, before we get started too far into the deal, if you would, I'd like for you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and, you know, if you really want to follow me and get notified whenever I put up, hit the bell button too. But, yeah, at least hit the like button for me. That way more people get to see the video and it moves it around a little bit. I would appreciate it. And also, my number's right here. Give me a call. Let's talk. You know, if you want to learn a little bit more about this, you want to discuss it a little bit more, what might work for you and might not, let's talk about it. So we're going to get into this in just a minute. 55 plus communities. Are they a good thing? Or are they a bad thing? They both got their pros and cons. We're going to talk about them. Well, let's get into it right now. Some of the pros, there's a lot of things going on in 55 plus communities. So if you're still an active person, which most of us are at 55, and you like doing a lot of things and you like meeting friends and being in the community, then a 55 plus community would be an ideal situation for you. You own your house. Most of them, especially the ones I'm going to talk about today, have nice clubhouses, and they hold different types of meetings and community events and exercise programs, things like that. Where you get to meet other people in the community and you get together and you talk and you play cards, do pickleball tournaments, swimming, things like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in a 55 plus community. So yeah, you know, if that's, you know, that's one of the things to consider. So you're not just sitting around all the time because you don't have your kids, grandkids around anymore. One of the disadvantages to it is 55 plus. You gotta be 55 or plus. Now, most of them have a rule that at least one person in the relationship has to be 55 or plus. So if you've got a wife that's, say, you married young, you got a wife that's 46 and you're 55, or vice versa, wife's 55 and the husband's 46, whichever, then you qualify. Because at least one person has to be that over 55. And if one person in a relationship is over 55, then you get to move in. But that's the only con. That is the con, is that you got to be plus 55 to get into these communities. Okay. The other one is HOA. All of these communities will have an HOA fee. Now, what the fee will be, it'll vary from different things, but what they do depends on the neighbor or the association or the community that you move into. Some of them just take care of the front yard and the landscaping that away, and the streets, of course, and sidewalks and things like that. And then others, they'll take care of roofing, house painting, things like that. So they keep the houses all a nice even color. They keep the roofs looking nice. They go to it. And then the HOA is a little bit more. And the HOA fee will always also include the clubhouse and the swimming pool and spas and the tournaments and the pickleball courts or tennis courts, things like that. So yeah, that's something to consider, is HOA. The pros, as I said, the clubhouses, they have the really nice clubhouses. And they'll usually have swimming days with the pools that'll be open. And they also, a lot of them have golf. A lot of these 55 plus communities are built around golf courses. So there's golf courses that are included in these communities. And you'll see a lot of people riding around in golf carts. A lot of people have got cars, they just leave them at home. They take a golf cart out everywhere they want to go around the community. As long as they're in the community, they just drive their golf carts around. That saves a lot on gas or electricity if you're driving an EV these days. But yeah, it's a lot of golf cart communities. So you'll see a lot of people driving around in deal. Drawbacks, you got kids, you're not getting in. Almost all of them do not allow kids. And they will allow, in some exceptions, they will allow your grandkids to come stay with you. But they limit the amount of time that they can come stay. It'll be anywhere from 14 days to 90 days type of thing. So like if you've got grandkids that are younger, say 12, 13 years old, and you want to allow them to come stay with you for a couple of weeks during the summer, that's okay. If you're a couple that decide to start life, having kids later in life, no, you're not getting in. They won't allow kids, most of them under 18, some of them under 21, into the community at all. So if you got grown kids, they'll make an exception sometimes and allow the grown kids to come in and move in. So, if you got kids that are in their late 20s, early 30s type of thing, and, they want to be a boomerang kid and come home with your parent, they can do that most of the time. Some of them will ask you'll have to apply for permission to allow it to happen, but they do it. Restaurants. The clubhouses normally have a lot of restaurants. So they'll have some decent restaurants, and they'll have some, they'll have buffet nights and stuff like that. So you get to go in, meet a lot of the community, have dinner with them, get to know each other that way. And they'll have raffles and drawings and things like that. So yeah, it's a pleasant situation for you if again, if you're looking for that. And again, as I said, they do cleaning, painting, lawns, landscaping, so you don't have to worry about all of that good stuff. You don't have to spend your weekends mowing yards, trimming bushes, things like that. They come along, they do it. They'll do paint, they'll keep your house updated, most of them will anyway. And the other thing is, it's quiet, very quiet. A lot of these communities, since you don't have a lot of kids running around, you don't have a lot of going back and forth and stuff like that, it's a quiet community. So, you don't hear a lot of street noise. You don't have people racing around on their cars, spinning their wheels, things like that inside the community. A lot of these communities are gated. Some of them aren't, some of them are. But yeah, it's almost all of them are very quiet communities. Size of houses, 90% of the houses in these communities are 2-bedroom, 2-bath. There will be an occasional 3-bedroom, maybe even a 4-bedroom. But most of them are 2-bedrooms. So if you need a bigger house or you want a bigger house, you're probably not going to find it in the 55 plus communities. And if you do, it's going to be an expensive house because most of them are in the 2-bedroom, 2-bath area. The other con to it is resale. It can be a little bit of a pain to resell a house inside a 55 plus community. It does take longer on the market type of thing like that because you've limited your audience. You're limiting your audience to people that are over 55. On the good side of that same coin though, is that when you're trying to buy into a 55 plus community, you'll generally have a few houses to choose from and you can negotiate prices a little bit better. But when you get ready to sell, well, it could take you a little bit longer to sell if you decide you want to sell and move away. But no, they're not cheap. I won't say that. Don't be looking for a great bargain inside a 55 plus community because you're not going to find it. You'll find some houses that are very nice. They're medium priced homes, not extravagant price, most of them, and not low end homes because, as I said, they're very well taken care of. And I guess the number one advantage of a 55 plus is the sense of community. As I've said this several times, because of the clubhouse, because of the activities they throw, and most of them have a social director that handles all this stuff and creates these community events for people to in the community to enjoy and to come into the clubhouse or whatever. Some of them have field trips, and they also have transportation. They'll have buses and stuff that come in, pick people up, and take them to certain areas for shopping, things like that. So, yeah, if you're looking for a 55 plus community, if you're thinking about it, now, and I would say the number one thing is sense of community. Now, as always, if you're looking for a 55 plus community and you want to talk about it, you want to discuss it, you want to explore your options a little bit more, maybe even go to a few houses, things like that, give me a call. Numbers right below. Just reach down here and go, "Hey, Monty," and give me a call. We'll sit down, we'll talk. I'm no obligation, doesn't cost you anything to talk to me. And I won't try and pressure you. I won't give you a hard time about it, and I won't bug you to death. If you really want to reach out and discuss it, I'll be a professional. I'll treat you right, and we'll discuss it. We'll go on a tour of it, see what we can find out about the communities. Now, a couple of them there's a couple of them in Roseville and Lincoln that are the big communities. They're all built out now, but there's houses for resale out there in most of them, most of the time. There's Sun City in Roseville and Sun City in Lincoln, and they're both really nice communities. I've helped a few people into both of them, and they're really nice. In Folsom, there's a 55 plus community. It's on the higher end. So if you're a higher end buyer, I'm talking about, $750,000, $800,000. Out in Folsom, Toll Brothers has built a beautiful 55 plus community, and Toll Brothers is one of the premier realtors. They really are. Their houses are, their spec houses are several specs above everybody else's. So yeah, they're a legitimate option for you. And there are others around too. There's some down around Elk Grove and stuff like that. And if you want to tour any of them, if there's any in the areas you want to look at, you want to think about moving into a 55 plus community, maybe if you want to sell your current house and move down into a smaller deal like that, then get in touch with me. I'll help you price your old house, and we'll see what we can get for it. Find out what your equity would be. Find out what it costs to transfer into a new house. A lot of times you can walk away and have a very small mortgage, and if any mortgage at all. A lot of times your equity will buy you another house in another community. And we can make the transfer as seamless as possible for you. Again, call me. Reach out and call me. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. And yeah, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.